live.
We want to make sure we get the audio.
Ooh, I heard that. Maybe we heard that. That's good. Let's see if we're live in here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we are. Let's see if we hear the audio. Yes,
Testing.
I heard audio. Hooray. I'm going to share this with our Sunday at Sea friends. You can go ahead and talk to them. Hi, guys.
Hello, everyone. So good to see you on this wonderful Sunday late afternoon. I want to say early evening, but the light is still outside. It's so cool. I think it's terrific.
Nice. Yeah.
And thank you for joining with us this morning's show. Wasn't that fun? We never had a tripod jump out and. But it was so windy.
It didn't even stay for 1 second.
It was so remarkably windy.
That was funny.
Well, we kind of knew it was going to happen, but we didn't think it was going to happen immediately. I thought we'd at least get 2 or 3 minutes in before it blew over. Anyhow, we love doing the show on Sunday mornings, and I'd love to have your comments, your input on the Sunday morning show, because it sometimes has larger following than our evening show.
Sometimes, maybe
depending on where we go.
But here we are. We're in the same old location, but we're cozy and comfy. We hope you are too. Here we go. Woo! Ahoy, mateys! And we're off.
Ready? Here we go.
Let's go.
Welcome to our show. Here we are again. What a wonderful gathering. Nice to have you with us tonight.
Yeah.
We were wired up all day long getting ready for this show, and now we are together.
Yeah.
And, have good news
Thanks
to
for
report.
coming.
Good news to report that our wonderful supporter Brad is back from his trip to New Zealand.
What an adventure.
We've talked to him, but he's getting reconnected to his world, and we'll hopefully have more of him involved in the show. But we're getting back together and doing our usual this and that.
Yeah. What he said. Exactly. That's right.
So we're into spring. We are still into spring. And if many of you have received the newsletter, we just sent it out this afternoon. If you haven't got it, maybe it's because you're not in our email list. Let us know. We'll add you to it. But we are so happy to be able to report to you that the spring edition of our newsletter was released, sent out, published.
That's right. And it's always
This afternoon.
newsy. You can always look for us on mollyandmark.com or email us at info@mollyandmark.com. Email us so we know how to get in touch with you. And we don't come out with it very often, and we definitely don't do any of that shady business of sharing emails, so no worries there.
Yeah, your email address is safe with us.
That's right.
I don't know
We'll
if
just send you something fun.
And Molly did a lot of writing for this issue. This issue,
Couple of little things, yeah.
it's some really sweet writing. So we're thinking spring, and on the subject of spring, we talk about herring, we talk about ospreys, and
All sorts of signs of spring.
but one of the key ingredients to the waterfront scene is the arrival of the squid.
Here they come. And we saw some squid boats, didn't we, the other night?
Yeah, we went out. We did our first of the spring trip to Dairy Queen to get some ice cream.
It's a thing. It's a thing here.
And it was in the evening, a lot darker than it is right now. And we drove along a road that goes right along the water of Nantucket Sound, and you look across Nantucket Sound towards Hyannis. It's this Nantucket Sound is this inner bay, and you look out, and we could see the lights on the boats, and the
They're
season
really bright.
the season just began this past week, and it'll actually get a lot busier. The season climaxes or closes down in June, the first week of June, but May is when it's really exciting. And it's for me, I mean, I love daffodils, but for me, the squid, the herring, the ospreys flying overhead, that's spring. So this is a song. This is a song about squid, the squid jigging.
Squid jigging.
It's certainly something we do in the spring, but we also do jigging in the fall. But with the squid migrate, they come in each spring to spawn, to have their babies and whatever, and that's the time when the fishermen nail them.
That's kind of sad.
I know, it's like... But anyhow, the recreational fishermen and the commercial fishermen, we all love squid. We all love squid. And this is a lovely song from Newfoundland. We love Canada. We love Newfoundland. Southwester. There's old Skipper Chafee. He's the best man a squid here all about. 10-0, what's the row? Why, he's catching one now. The very first squid on the squid here. All hands are excited. It's a one
Pollen, spring.
That man with the whiskers, old Jacob Steele, he's a getting well up, but he's still rather sound. While Uncle Bob Hawkins wears 3 pairs of stockings whenever he's out on the street. Says Bobby the squid are on top of the water. I just hooked my jigger about 1 fathom down. When a squid in his boat squirts him right down the throat, and he's swearing like mad on the street. There's poor Uncle Jacob. His whiskers are covered with the spots of the ink juice flying around. When one little by-God gets him right in the eye, and they don't give a darn Now, if ever you're inclined to go out a squid jigging, just leave your white shirt and your collar in town. And if you have a weak stomach and are bound to get seasick, you better steer clear of the Now, I have to say
a
this, I've
fun
said
one.
this before and before, you don't have to like squid to appreciate this song.
Hey,
But if you eat any fish in the ocean, you know you got to appreciate squid, because the fish you eat squid.
and I gotta say, you made a recipe the other day of squid that was really cool, because sometimes you can think of squid being like rubbery, and maybe hard to chew. Well, guess what he did? He put it in the blender.
I cooked it first.
You cooked it first, yeah.
Then I cooked it mildly cooked it.
Yep, just a little bit. And then you ground it all up. So it was in, what kind of thing was it in? Just some like casserole kind of stir fry thing
Well,
you made?
it's just like, yeah, it was to make like a stew with it, where you have all the vegetables and all the things that you like to eat in a stew, and then you have this squid to it.
And it was like a squid. It wasn't quite a puree because there still had little pieces of it in there.
yeah.
But the cool thing was it just was filled with this flavor of the squid, but you weren't having big pieces of it that you might be in. It was so good. So, hey, there's a little tip for squid.
Squid is an underrated, underappreciated, essential ingredient to the ocean. And fortunately for us, there are many fish that are in trouble and so on. But it appears, at least in these waters, the squid are doing all right. They're doing pretty well. I mean, frankly, I have memories when there were so much squid in Nantucket Sound. You could see, if like Molly and I did that night, looking out on the sound, seeing 20 boats.
Wow.
All of them going back and forth and catching fish.
We've seen in previous years maybe like 5 or 7, something like that.
And many of those boats were local. There were boats that were local that came in, and there was actually a fellow who actually had an operation where he bought the squid from them and shipped it by truck from our island to the mainland. And the squid that comes from Nantucket Sound was sought after all around the world. So that even though the local people who live on this island maybe have a little bit of an interest in squid, there are countries I want to say, in the Middle East, in Middle Europe area around Spain, whatever, Portugal, they love squid and they love our squid. And they would have these factory ships that would fast freeze the squid. They'd buy them right off the boats and they'd fast freeze them and pack them and ship them right over to Europe. And
hey, Carol and John, good to see you here with us.
So the thing is that today, because the thing that is bothering us immensely is that the decline of the squid in our waters. Maybe it's partly environmental, maybe it's overfishing, maybe it's poor management. A mix of these different ingredients, and the thing is, those factory ships don't show up anymore. There's not enough squid in the Sound. But to visualize in my mind what was in there and what there is today is extreme difference. And I know this is a story that many of you have shared in your own life. What locally harvested farm foods and what locally harvested fish are in decline or whatever. But the idea is the squid story, precious, because the squid are essential, not just as humans. We're not that important. They're important to all the whales in the ocean, so many different species love to eat bluefish, striped bass, but they just love to feed.
Oh, speaking of squid, there was a story, a national news story this week. I don't know if you heard of it, but it was on the radio. I heard it. And it was talking about the first time recently that a colossal squid, so different than the giant squid, the colossal squid, which is Antarctica, that it had been caught on video. So they actually saw it in its actual environment, swimming around, and it was really cool and huge. But they've been studying the colossal squid, which is different than the giant squid. They explained the difference between the giant squid, I guess, is longer but thinner, and the colossal squid is still big, but it's a little thicker. Bulkier, yeah. And there's some other differences they went into naming about it, which was cool to hear the scientists explain it. But they've said that the only way they've studied them so far, these colossal squid, the only way they've been able to is by studying what is the contents of the stomach, say, of a dead sperm whale. Well, I guess colossal squid is their favorite food. So they eat tons of those. That's what they love to eat. They dive down deep and they get those colossal squid. And so they really like those.
For those of you who love whales and the stories of whales, the sperm whales, they're such an amazing animal to read about, how they go into the depths of the ocean to hunt their favorite fish.
Yeah.
Their favorite
squid.
And a squid. And it's like, wow. Anyway,
that was kind of cool.
We're into this. We're into this here.
We're into other fish around these waters, too.
That's right. So, 2 weeks ago? Was it 2 weeks ago we did the Cape Cod Maritime Museum?
It was the 17th, so yeah, almost 2 weeks ago, like 10 days ago.
We sang on the Cape Cod Maritime Museum. We love them.
It was so fun. What a great audience.
And if you get our newsletter, you see we share some video and some pictures.
Yeah. And
they're lovely folks over there.
They sang along. They had such a good time.
So we have to do Cape Cod Girl.
Gotta do it for them.
Bones.
Bound away for Australia. All the way,
even up and
don't you make a noise.
boys, they'd only use no sleds.
All the way home.
They slide down the dunes on codfish heads.
And they're bound away for New Zealand.
So it's even about my
All the way home.
even up and
Don't you make a noise. Bound away for New Zealand. Hey, it fits. That's for you,
well, now
Brad.
Cape Cod doctors, they don't use no pills.
All the way home.
They feed their patients on
Codfish gills. Bound away for Australia.
So it's even up, my bully boys.
All the way home.
Even up and don't you make a noise.
Bound away for New
Well, now Cape Cod cats, they have no,
No tails. All the way home.
They lost them to those southwestern gales.
Bound away for Australia.
So it's even up, my bully boys.
All the way, all the way.
Even up and don't you
Make a noise. Bound away for New Zealand.
Don't you love the way she laughs? She's so good. All right, let's go back to the first verse.
And we'll go back to Australia.
And you know the first verse, so please join in with us. Well, now Cape Cod girls, they don't use no combs.
All the way, all the way.
They comb their hair with,
Codfish bones. Bound away for Australia.
so it's even up, my bully boys.
All the way, all the way.
Even up and
Don't you make a noise. Bound away for Australia. Bound away for New Zealand. Australia and New Zealand. We're calling out Brad because Brad just got back from a really cool trip. Brad, who helps us behind the scenes and does our editing, a trip of a lifetime down to New Zealand. What a cool place, and he was posting a lot of pictures, and what a beautiful, beautiful place. I'm really glad he got to do that. Uh-oh. There we go. That sounded much better.
So the one thing I want to say about Brad is he came back and he told us one of the many things he shared with us was reaffirming the news that a lot of New Englanders, whalemen from New England, went to the waters of New Zealand and Australia in pursuit of whales.
Yeah.
And many of those whalemen from New England settled in New Zealand. Many of them are buried in the cemeteries there. And it's this huge, wonderful link between us and New Zealand. And just a few weeks ago, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand was actually here on the island, visiting
That
here.
was cool.
So, I mean, I know the perception out there is that Martha's Vineyard is this tiny little island off the coast of Massachusetts that nobody goes to, except celebrities and wealthy people and whatever like that. But the real story is that Martha's Vineyard, from the history of America, Martha's Vineyard, New Bedford, and Nantucket were connected closely with many, many places in the South Atlantic, the Pacific.
And has been populated, all of those places you mentioned have been populated by hard-working people, not vacationers.
And that legacy story is what drives part of the reason why we sing these songs, is to pay attention to them.
Yeah. Hey, let's check in with who's here. Oh, Joanne's here. Hey, Joanne. Hey, Benny. Benny's here too. Hey, great to see you guys. Thanks for joining us. And everybody else who's being too shy to let us know they're here. That's okay. You're allowed to.
Yeah, that's part of our newsletter we've been mentioning. And we go out and wander around and we bump into people who watch our show that we have no idea. They don't tell you on them
That's
watching
right.
the show.
And that's okay. That's
They won't-
okay.
That's okay. We can. But they tell us in the grocery store.
Isn't that fun?
They tell us when we go to different parts of the island, and we leave when we go ashore. We go. It's amazing.
Oh, excuse
So-
me. I'm tired. I think it's that spring air.
Well, we had a busy day. We've
We
had a busy
did.
week. We've been hopping around here. We did the newsletter, and we did some. We're doing all kinds of fun.
Doing all kinds of fun stuff.
Anyway, we want to pay a special tribute tonight to a wonderful man, Robert S. Douglas, Captain Douglas, who passed on earlier this week at the age of 93. And you may not know anything about him, but you will know the story about this beautiful schooner that is in the Vineyard Haven Harbor called Shenandoah. And he had her built more than 60 years ago.
He designed her.
And he designed her in consultation with top-notch people, and he followed a dream of having that vessel made. And you don't, any one of you who've ever had a house built or had something built, those things are important journeys in your life. And but just to visualize in your mind having a schooner built, 106, 109-foot schooner built.
What a beautiful vessel.
What a beautiful vessel, and what a beautiful story. And
having
throughout
it
his career,
built in the 60s with no engine.
she has no engine on board. Deliberately.
Yeah.
Not that he could have had one popped right in when they were building her. But he was dedicated to the idea of the old ways of doing, navigating the waters around here. No engine. Visualize that. It's hard to imagine. There are very few boats in our waters, no matter what size, except a rowboat, that don't have engines. And
That's right.
Shenandoah, what a remarkable, amazing. And the thing I want to continue to say about Robert was that, his idea of sailing the schooner was not enough to be in love with the schooner and have the fun. He had fun sharing
Right.
his
Yeah.
love for the sea and the schooner. We're not just old people. Not just, he was a young man. He's with kids. From the bulk of his career, the most of his career while he was sailing Shenandoah was taking young people out
Isn't that cool?
for days at a time, weeks at a time, and amassing a long list of crew members through the years who were dedicated, devoted to not just the ship, but to Bob, Captain Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And as a community, we're in mourning. We're actually in mourning of his loss, and his lovely wife is Charlene, right?
Charlene, yeah.
Charlene,
Mhm.
she's around.
And
She's-
they've both founded also a local restaurant, the Black Dog
Oh
Restaurant.
my God, that's
and if
another
you've
story.
been in any airport in the country nowadays, you might come across a Black Dog store. Well, that came a spin-off of some clothing spin-off of the restaurant. So his
The tagline.
legacy is way huge.
See, yeah, you're more likely.
huge.
Those of you who travel the world, more likely to know about the Black Dog shirt, the
Right.
T-shirt, the Black Dog this and the Black Dog that. That's
right.
That's attributed to him. It's to him.
When I worked down at Disney, I would see probably like 5 or 6 of those a day walk by. And I'm like, oh, I know where you got those. And that was even before they had all the spin-off stores. So now you see a whole lot more, I'm sure. But, yeah.
So our heart goes out to the Douglas family and,
Yeah.
and the many friends and the crew and those who have sailed on the Shenandoah. We're not talking hundreds, we're talking thousands of people.
You sailed on it. You got to go on
sailed
it.
We got some pictures around here of me on board and following her on other people's boats. The Shenandoah is just such a beloved vessel. So the
Beautiful
the
boat.
big story about the Shenandoah is that Bob Douglas, he could have picked anything to name that vessel. He could have, when you have your own boat built, you can call it anything you want. Give it a name. Many sailors name them after their wives.
Mm-hmm.
Fishermen do, and they name after their wives. But Bob, what a different fellow. He named the schooner after a song. A song.
Isn't that cool?
A song.
And it's a
He loved
beautiful
the
song.
song. So we're going to sing that tonight.
It sure is beautiful.
This is an old sea shanty song. The song comes from the days when sailors sang on board ship. Oh, Shenandoah, my native valley, far away, rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, my native I'm bound across the waters. Oh, Shenandoah, I love your daughter, far away. Oh, Shenandoah, I'll take her away. I'm bound away. I'm bound across the waters.
the white
Mizzle.
Oh, so lovely. What a beautiful
Here's the Captain Bob.
song. Yeah. Here's your Captain Bob. Oh, I know what we were going to sing. We were going to sing another little tribute to Captain Bob because he was a huge fan of sea shanties and
my
work
gosh.
songs, and he used to sing them on board all the time. I bet he sang this one.
When I was a little boy, my mama often told me, way haul away, we'll haul away, Joe. That if I didn't kiss the girls, my lips, they'd all go moldy. Way haul away, we'll haul away, Joe. Way haul away, we'll haul for better weather. Way haul away, we'll haul away, Joe.
Fallen.
King Louis was the king of France before the revolution.
Way
Haul away, we'll haul away, Joe. But Louis got his head cut off. It spoiled his constitution.
Go figure. Way.
Hold on a second.
Oh yeah, we better intermission.
Way haul away, we'll haul away, Joe. Way haul away, we'll haul for better weather. Way haul away, we'll haul away, Joe.
Yeah.
One more in the chorus. Way haul away, we'll haul for better weather. Way haul away, we'll haul away, Joe. There's a toast to all of you
There's
folks
a
out
toast.
there, all my salty friends. That tastes good.
That is good. Good way to wet the whistle. Ah. Yay. Here's a salty song. That's a fun one. That's a fun
One more Shenandoah story. Many of you know that my daughter Emma Lovewell's a wonderful lady that she is. And I have a wonderful memory of her. She spent a week or so on the Shenandoah with her friends and colleagues, and she's a sailing girl. There's no question she was on a sailboat long before she got on the Shenandoah, but I will say that one of the treasures of my being a dad was driving over to the dock, driving to pick her up after she spent a week or so on the Shenandoah, and she was lit up.
Aww.
She was lit up, just glowing. She had a wonderful, wonderful experience aboard the Shenandoah. And as we drove from Vineyard Haven to Edgartown to take her home, she started rattling off the names of the different lines on board the ship that she had memorized. Because a part of the deal was going on board was getting to know the vessel really well. And it was just for me as a dad, and I know there's some mothers out
As
there.
a salty dad,
and
too.
I know there's some other dads out there. It's really cool when you get to share in the fellowship of your child's excitement
That is so
over the
cool.
world that they have just discovered and come back and gave a full report. Anyway,
Aww.
isn't that fun?
That's awesome. That is so great.
So here's a toast to Captain Douglas.
Here's another
And of
toast.
course a toast to my daughter too. But
Yay. Yeah.
and toast to all of you out there. Amen. What am I knocking over?
No, who knows? Something.
Bam. Shook up.
So this month is Earth Month. Maybe some of you have been celebrating. There was Earth Day on the 22nd, so that was last week. But the whole month around here is celebrated with a lot of beach cleanups and beach grass plantings and all kinds of things like that to help the environment.
Draw attention.
Draw attention to ways that we can be proactive in doing things to help. So we just thought, well, we got a song about that. We got a song about Mother Earth. So we're gonna.
3 years
sing Mother
ago,
Earth.
Molly wrote this song.
Yeah, for an Earth Day festival.
It was held here.
Yeah,
It's,
and we've sung it a few times since then, for other things. So
oh my gosh, you love this song. We love the song.
we love this.
Our mother is a rolling sea. Her waves call from the shore.
Every year that I am here, I'm closer to your door. I melt so there is more of me to wash your land to see. Take care of what you do to me, leave your own
Hear you cry. We hear your call. Mother, we must try to help.
save us all.
Mother, you're an open plain. Your grass has turned to sand.
How can I grow food for you while fires burn my land? Floods and winds are
and hear your call. Mother, we must try to help
Save us all.
Mother, you're a jungle rich in wonders and in pain.
Every year they cut and scorch such species that are slain. Never in my garden will we see such life so free. Take care of what you do to me will haunt you forever.
Mother, we hear your cry, we hear your call. Mother, we must try to help.
Save us all.
Mother, you're tired of fighting for your life all on your own.
I cry for all the creatures, all the forests that I've known. I ask, what can you give instead of take away from me? Please care for what you give to me will reap more than its song.
We hear your cry, and we hear your call. Mother, we must try to help.
Save us all.
Help
Save us all. Help
save us
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that guitar part you made up. That is just the coolest. I just love it. I love it. I love it.
It is a good song, isn't it? Please comment.
Aw, thank you.
Please share your comments.
Yay.
Say hello. We're a little community here, you know.
Aw. Aw. Carol said, I heard her song the first live performance. Proud friend. Aw. It was so sweet of you to come and be there. It was awesome. Thank you so much.
Isn't that fun?
Thank you.
That's a great song. It is a great song.
Well, we're about
It's
at the
still
end of the
great.
song, out of the evening, and we got a few thank yous to say, especially to Brad. Now we know he's having a little bit of an extended vacation, and that's okay. He deserves it, and we love him, even if he's not here with us. And Fisher Poetry Archive, Brad's baby. Look up the wonderful videos he's got on there. He's got some Sundays at Seas. He's got podcasts. He's got all kinds of good stuff. So look him up. It's a great archive of all kinds of people telling fishy, salty tales. Really, really good
And
stuff.
through his efforts that these shows get shared.
Yeah. So
Go
we're so
all
grateful.
around.
Yep. We're grateful to MVTV, to CCM out in Salem, Oregon. And hey, you want to know more what we're doing? Go to mollyandmark.com. Go to markallenlovewell.com. You can find all kinds of things. You go to Mark's YouTube channel, and you can find us in reruns.
Thank the folks on Patreon, those who
That's-
support Patreon to
and
support
Substack.
us.
Yep, exactly.
And thank you for those who support us through the newsletter.
That's right.
Cool things. There is a
So thank you.
passive aggressive ways that you can help us out. There
We're-
are more deliberate ways.
That's
and,
right.
You know,
we're very, very grateful
We thank
that
Paul
you're
Moore
here.
for his continued support, which is
That's right. Shout out.
further continues to support us through Patreon.
Yep. And Mo, we heard from Mo today too. Thank you, Mo. We're thankful
It's
to
just
all of you who
an
show up,
ongoing
who are here.
conversation and love that we get to share with so many different people. And
Yeah.
we're very grateful in this changing world, this
That's right.
troubled and changing world, that we have this warm-hearted sense of well-being from you and those of us who gather. We think of Joanne Rideout out there on the West
Yeah,
Coast. We love
we
her.
got Bill joining us from Texas, so we're glad that
Joanne
you joined
stays
us.
with us through the week. We exchange things back and forth. It's like it's a community we've
Oh,
got here.
Lorraine's here from New Jersey too.
Lorraine, good to see you.
Yay!
Folks in Texas
Aw,
and
thank
Chicago
you.
and England.
That's right. That's right. So
Anyway.
thank you, everybody. We're grateful that you're here,
And please stay in touch with us, on different subjects and stuff. We're
Yeah.
open ears. We're here, and we like to hear
Yeah.
from our friends.
exactly.
And
Oh, here we go. We know where we're going now. We're going around the world on a boat. Headed back towards home.
thank you to the folks on Cape Cod who gave us the support.
Mm-hmm.
What a wonderful audience they were. Just
That's
so
right.
warm-hearted.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Here we go. Sing along. You gotta know this one. Call all hands and the captain.
See the cable running clear.
Lead away and we're the boys. For we do the steer. Rolling home. Rolling home across the sea. Rolling home dear God, to thee, fare thee well. Yes, Spanish maidens. Whoa, we bonking things again here.
Just make sure the mic's there.
There we go. Well, your Spanish maidens,
It is time to bid adieu.
happy times
We've spent together.
Here we go. Happy times we've spent with you. Rolling home. Rolling home. Rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to dear.
Round Cape Horn. One frosty morning.
And the sails
We're full of snow.
tighten those sheets and pull in those halyards. Let her off. Woo! Let her roll. Rolling home. Rolling home. Rolling home across the sea. Rolling home. for joining us.
Have a great week,
That's right, wherever you are.
wherever you are.
We're glad you could spend time with us.
Come all young sailormen, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of the fish in the sea. Blow, ye winds, westerly, westerly blow. We're bound to the southward, so steady she goes.